Some rare muscle cars are particularly hard to find because only a handful were ever made. Between special order models and experimental prototypes, the 1960s saw a number of performance options that were built in incredibly low volumes. Here are 10 American cars that only exist in single-digit numbers. 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am convertible, 8 units produced. Pontiac's Trans Am package first appeared on the Firebird in 1969, bringing with it race-inspired styling and performance improvements like beefier brakes, stouter suspension, and a standard Ram Air 3 400 cubic inch V8 under the hood. When paired with a 3-speed manual transmission, this meant that the Firebird was good for 335 horsepower. Because it was introduced as a mid-calendar update, 1969 sales are lower than in subsequent years. In addition to 689 hardtops, 8 buyers opted for a Firebird Trans Am with a drop top, according to Haggerty. (1969 Pontiac GTO Judge Ram Air 4 convertible, 5 units. GTO Judges, of any variety, are desirable examples of Pontiac muscle, but one of the rarest combinations comes in the form of a 1969 convertible equipped with a Ram Air 4 engine and a 4-speed manual. For even though Pontiac built a total of 6,833 GTOs with the Judge package for the model year, 14 of those were convertibles with the Ram Air 4, and just 5 came with a row-your-own gearbox. Top that rarity off with 370 horsepower, a functional Ram Air system, and bold styling, and you've got a statement just as fit for display as it is for the street. Number 8. 1966 Shelby GT 350 convertible, 4 units produced. Between pre-production cars and upgraded performance models, there are a number of elusive Shelby Mustangs from the 1960s. Of those, the 1966 Shelby GT 350 convertible ranks among the rarer breeds, as a mere 4 examples were built for the model year, according to Haggerty. Carroll Shelby reportedly commissioned the cars for testing purposes ahead of the 1968 debut, meaning that they weren't even intended for public sale. After spending some time in the Shelby motor pool, they eventually made their way onto the second-hand market. 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner Hemi convertible, 4 units produced. The Plymouth Roadrunner burst onto the scene in 1968 as a no-frills performance offering meant to attract power-hungry buyers on a budget. Though it enjoyed immense sales success through 1969, rising insurance rates and a weakened economy meant that consumer muscle car interest took a steep dive starting in 1970. For this reason, Plymouth managed to sell just 658 drop-tops that year, with 34 of those receiving the 440 and as few as 4 coming with the Hemi. V8-powered Roadrunners of any displacement are a rare sight, but those with a 426 under the hood are truly mythical. (1969 Hearst Olds convertible, 3 units. Oldsmobile and Hearst Performance kicked off their collaboration in 1968 with a run of 515 Cutlass hardtops and coupes, along with 4 convertible models. The following year, production numbers grew to 906 Hearst Olds Cutlass hardtops, but just 3 drop-tops were made for promotional use. As the cars were never intended for public sale, once Oldsmobile retired them from show duty, they were quickly snapped up by private collectors. With the return of the Hearst Olds in 1972, convertibles were finally offered to buyers for the first time, and 130 individuals stepped up to have their 442 as an open-aired experience. 1966 Shelby Cobra Super Snake 2 units. Back in 1967, Carroll Shelby built a pair of Cobra Super Snakes, one for use as a personal ride and the other as a gift for Bill Cosby. Intimidated by the raw power, the comedian returned the car to Shelby, and it was subsequently sold to a Ford dealership in San Francisco. Eventually, a collector named Tony Maxey acquired the car and enjoyed it for many years. However, a stuck throttle ultimately caused him to crash the car off the side of a cliff, killing Maxey and destroying the Cobra in the process. Accordingly, just one Shelby Cobra Super Snake exists today, and it cleared a commensurate $5.5 million the last time it headed to auction. '69 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1. 2 units produced. Many of the rarest American cars were built in such limited quantities because their choice configurations afforded ludicrous price tags. The 1969 Chevrolet Corvette ZL1 is a case in point, as the all-aluminum L88 engine was an option that added $4,700 on top of the car's $4,000 purchase price. As such, just 2 buyers paid the price of admission for the 500-horsepower C3 experience. Brutally fast and brutally expensive, the ZL1 is the holy grail for Corvette collectors today. 1970 Dodge Coronet RT Hemi convertible. 2 units produced. Dodge's controversial Coronet facelift in 1970 came during a time when muscle car sales were already starting to falter, meaning that not many buyers ponied up for an RT, and fewer still found it in their wallet to spend the sums for a Hemi upgrade. Of the 2,615 examples of Coronet RT produced in 1970, only 296 cars were convertibles, and just 2 came optioned with Mopar's vaunted 426 V8. Though the Coronet styling meant that it wasn't a showroom success back in the day, the convertible model's resulting rarity makes it one of the scarcest and most valuable muscle cars on the market, worth an estimated $1.5 million apiece. 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake. 1 unit. Even though Shelby revived the GT500 nameplate for a run of continuation cars, only a single Super Snake was created in 1967. It's truly the stuff of legend, all the more so because of its story. Carroll Shelby created the car for the purposes of testing tires, ordering a Ford 427 V8 built to the same specifications as the engines found in the GT40 race car. He took a journalist for a ride up to a top speed of 170 miles per hour, unheard of for Mustangs at the time, and managed 500 miles at an average speed of 142 miles per hour on the oval. Only one exists, and in 2020, it became the most expensive Mustang ever sold when it fetched $3.85 million at a Mecum auction. '68 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 convertible. 1 unit. Chevrolet built over 20,000 Camaro convertibles in 1968. However, of those, just 1 was equipped to Z28 specifications. Promotions manager Vince Piggin commissioned the car for executive Pete Estes as a marketing effort because he wanted to homologate a number of special parts for racing use. Beyond a 302 V8, it featured four-wheel disc brakes, a performance suspension package with Coney shocks, a fiberglass hood, as well as a cross-ram intake manifold with factory tube headers. Thank you for watching.